Here I have a completed lead intake process, which is going to take leads from a CSV file, filter them out for quality, and save the quality ones to a list. And that list ultimately gets added to Salesforce. However, using variables to create this list means that the data will not persist when this job is done running. What if we wanted to back up this lead data so that we can make use of it in other processes? Maybe we want it to go to Snowflake. Maybe we want to upload our leads to Marketo. So let's find a way to make the most of this list in a way that will be reusable. One way I can approach this is to make use of Workato's file storage tool. To access it, I go to the left side of my screen in my navigation bar, click on Tools, and then I go to File Storage. And the files available in Workato's file storage are available wherever we need them in this workspace. And to add files to file storage, I can either upload an existing file by clicking the Upload File button, or I could create it from a recipe. Both methods will work here. What I'll want to start with, though, is by creating a directory where I can store my lead data. So I'll click Create Directory, and I will name it Leads, and then click Create Directory. I'm going to go back to my recipe, scroll down to the bottom just before I upload my leads in batches to Salesforce, and I'm going to add one more step. I'll select Action and App, and this time I'll choose File Storage by Workato. And here I have the option to create a file. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll want to give this file a name. So let's dynamically populate the name based on what was originally added to Google Drive. What was the original name of this CSV file? So I'll go up the data tree to my new CSV file step, and I'll use name as my file name. Next, I need to select a file path. Where am I going to save this file in our file storage? If I go to choose a directory, I can import the available directories that are in file storage. And here I have my leads folder. Before I can add my file contents, I need to make sure that my data is in the correct file format. If I'm creating a CSV file, it needs to be CSV formatted. Right now, our list that exists in our recipe is not formatted that way. So what can we do here? Before we create our file, we're going to add a step, Action and App, and here we're going to use CSV Tools by Workato. And this time I'm selecting Compose CSV. It's going to take a list of items and then combine them into a CSV file. So to indicate the column leads, I can enter them one at a time. So like first name, last name, email. That's a little time consuming though. Let's go faster. And what I could instead do is just copy the header row from my CSV file and paste it in. And then I'll use enters to separate these lines. And we don't want commas here. So let's get that formatted. And now I can choose whether or not I want to create a header line. Absolutely, I do. It will be separated by comma. Now I can go back to my create file step here. And if I click file contents now, I should have an option here for CSV contents after our previous step. So that's what's going to be used to upload to file storage, and we will be creating a CSV file. As for the CSV column schema setup, we can either choose to automatically infer names and data types, or we could do a manual setup like we've done previously. Auto infer should suit us just fine though. And everything else here, it looks pretty good. So let's give that a save. And I'll go ahead now and repeat the job. And it looks like our job was successful. Now let's see what happens when I refresh my file storage. And we can see here our new lead CSV has been composed. So now our recipe, once it's done separating out the quality leads that will ultimately be added to Salesforce, we can still back that up to a CSV file and use it elsewhere in our workspace.